Okay, so Martin Beers, Bearss.
That's correct.
Now I'm going to be asking you some questions. So answer in oh no, I'm sorry. Let's just strike all that. Sorry. You ready? Okay. Okay, Martin. Well, thank you so much for being with us here today. You had mentioned to me that your family started in the Tampa area in the 1800s. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Give us a little background on that.
My great-grandfather and my grandfather moved down here in 1894 from Missouri. My grandfather and his wife-to-be got married in October of 1894, and so they moved with my great-grandfather down here and came by train. The rest of the family came by mule train from Missouri, so it took them 11 weeks to come down, and they arrived on December 20th, 1894. But my grandfather had already been here for about 2 months at that time.
Oh my gosh! And so, what were they doing, and what brought them here?
My great-grandfather was a preacher for the United Brethren Church in Christ, and he actually started 7 churches in this area.
Oh wow!
And then my grandfather was a farmer, came down to grow citrus and those types of things, and so they traded land in Missouri for land in Florida. Is how they originally came down here, and they traded 40 acres of land in Missouri for a section of land in Florida. So it shows you how times have changed.
Yes, absolutely. So, how many acres did he have, and what was the section? Like, how many acres was
There's
that?
640 acres, but they got messed up by the developers like everybody else. When they got here, 100 acres of it was under Lake Magdalene, so they didn't get quite as much as they expected.
Uh-oh. So, now, you guys, somehow, tell me the story behind your name and the lemons.
Well, the cigar industry had just started in Tampa about 7 or 8 years before that. And there were a lot of immigrants that came into Tampa, including Italians, and most of them were from Sicily. And they brought lemons with them. And this is my understanding. My father and grandfather always called the Beers lemon a Sicilian type of lemon. Okay? And supposedly at that time in the Lutz area, which wasn't Lutz yet, it was just called North Tampa, there were a number of groves of lemons, and they were doing well with them financially because they were selling them to the people in Tampa with the cigar factories and all.
Right.
And so my grandfather, when he heard that, went up to that area, which was probably 4 or 5 miles from my house, and got what were supposed to be bud sticks to be able to put them on liners in the following spring, because back then they would put the bud sticks in burlap bags and then bury them in dry sand
okay.
and they would keep until the following spring, because it was easier to cut the wood in the fall time before the flush started in the springtime.
Okay.
And everyone told them there'd be plenty of liners to come around, but when it froze in December 28th of 1894 and then froze again on February 8th in 1895, there was nothing left, but he still had those 4 bud sticks. So he actually started those. So the original Beers lemons were not budded; they were grown from those 4 sticks.
Only
So
4 sticks.
There were 4. So there were originally 4 trees. Now, I was born in 1953. My grandfather lived in 1962, and as a boy, 3 of those trees were left, and they were gigantic. They were 3 or 4 feet across. They were hollow from the freezes. They all had cirrhosis, and a limb would break off and so forth and so on. But 3 of those trees were still there until 1983.
And this was in your house on
Lake Magdalene.
Now, is that the Beers Avenue that we see?
Yes. Beers Avenue. Back then, Beers Avenue wasn't there. It didn't get there till the 1920s. So Lake Magdalene Boulevard curved around all the way. So there's a number of lakes there. So.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. So, and you still live there today?
Yes, I do. I live about 150 feet from where the lemon trees were.
Oh my gosh. So did you have to work the lemon trees or do anything in the groves? Are you in citrus now or what?
Yes, I got a degree from University of Florida, and I was in the citrus. I was in the northern citrus belt, so the 1983 freeze kind of put a hiatus on a lot of that. We replanted, and then we replanted with navels and red grapefruit and so forth and so on. And so then I started a fruit stand on Beers Avenue. Realized when I was a kid, Beers Avenue just ran about 3 miles, and if there were 50 cars a day on it, that was
That was a
something.
lot.
Okay, and now I think there's about 40,000 cars a day on, and it cut the north side of our grove off. So I put a fruit stand up there and sold all the fruit out through the gate like that.
Oh wow, that's
So,
interesting.
and Pierce Groves is still, I don't own it anymore, but Pierce Groves is still there. And all of the family groves are gone, except I've replanted a little bit on the lakeside with some Page Oranges and Nova Tangelos. Hopefully they're going to be resistant to the greening because of the Clementine parentage of those.
Oh, that'd be,
And
yes.
so we're going to see whether that,
So how long ago did you plant those?
they're just a couple years old now.
Okay. So they said,
And-
what, 7 or 8 years you'll know?
There'll be some fruit on this year, so in a couple, I'll know next year whether the taste is going to be right. The trees themselves, I planted them last April, and they're overhead high now, so
Oh, nice.
they're looking good. And I'm going to go back to the way we did things when I was a kid. I've got Florida beggarweed growing up in there, and
The cover
some of the
crops?
lagoon. I'm going to use cover crops and disc.
I've ridden on some of those, you know.
I am going to herbicide because, I remember torpedo grass and Bermuda grass that I didn't think I'd ever get rid of, and then when Roundup got rid of it, I thought it was some of the greatest things that ever happened in my life because I didn't have to hoe those anymore.
I think every kid would grow up and get a nickel a row to hoe the rows.
Well, our rows were a mile long, so
More than
in that
nickel.
particular grove, yeah, the Vasey grass and the torpedo grass and the Bermuda grass was not good. So.
No. Okay. Well, what else do you want to tell us about your family then? Any other history you want to bring up or talk about?
No, just
the Beers Lemon story
yeah,
out.
I would like to. There are some published reports, and when I went to the University of Florida, Dr. Ziegler and Fred Lawrence and those guys had written some books, and even then it was wrong. They would say it was 1892 and so forth and so on, and I just wanted to get it right. But the thing that got me is that in some places in IFAS now, they're spelling the name incorrectly, so I wanted to try to get it to where it was correct.
And it needs to be Bearss.
One R and two S's, not two R's and one S.
And
That's
don't
correct.
put an A before the
Don't
S.
put another A in there just to take attention to something that we don't want to be.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Martin. Appreciate you coming in and give us the story.
Thank you so much.
Okay.